So we're going to start by lying on our belly. So bring your hands by your sides, bring one ear to the mat. It's up to you which ear you want to start with. Just bring one ear to the mat. Let your big toes touch, let your heels flop open. Breathe in any way that you want to breathe, as long as it feels good in your body. Your breath and like the oxygen in your breath is going to help your muscles a whole lot. So next we're going to do Cobra Pose. So just bring your hands right underneath your shoulders. Bring your legs together and point your toes. Push your feet down into the floor and bring your chin to the mat. Now try to look forward, but start to pull your ears away from your shoulders. Try to stay long through your neck and long through your lower back. Pull your elbows back and try to lift your chest, your chin, your nose, your ears. But see if you can really use the strength of your lower back and your legs to help lift you up. Take one more breath, try to puff up the chest, and then really slowly lower it down and look to the other side. Bring your chin to the mat again, flip your palms down, bring your legs together, and this time lift your arms up, your legs up, and your chest up. So imagine that you're just trying to push your hips down into the mat and lift everything else up and away from you. Now you don't have to lift super high away from the ground, just try to make your arms and legs really long. Take one more big breath, and as you exhale, release it and let it go. Look to the other side. Take a few big breaths into the back of the body. So these are poses too, you know. Take 5 deep breaths in every pose that you're in, and just see if you can stay calm inside of that breathing. And then just bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, and push your chest away from the floor. Come to a tabletop position, so it's with shoulders over the wrists and hips over the knees. And you just want to be sure they're stacked. Feel free to move yourself around a little bit before we get started with this kind of spinal strengthening. So if you want to like move through your back, maybe tuck your toes, stick your butt this way, move around through the hands, just so everything's kind of loose and warmed up. Big circles with your head, big circles with your hips, just kind of getting to know your body. You know, I really think that like the more we can feel in our bodies, the easier it is to use our bodies efficiently. So try to just move in a way that feels really good. And then come to this clean, neutral tabletop. Not working too hard, you know, and then just as you exhale, pull your belly in around your spine. As you inhale, let your belly drop, arch your spine. And just keep going back and forth with this, and try to exaggerate the movement of your spine, but also try to exaggerate the movement of your breath. And as you're doing it, keep trying to push the floor away from you. I think that will help us to start to feel how we can use gravity to maintain a balanced amount of space between the joints so that our muscles are working really efficiently. So think about room between your bones and your wrist, room between the bones and the elbows, the shoulders. That way your muscles are working not too hard and not too soft. And then come back to this neutral spine and stretch your right arm forward and your left leg back. Keep pushing the mat away from you. And again, like I said before, there's lots of options. There's no wrong way to do these poses. So you could do it with both hands down and just your leg up, or both legs down and just your arm up. But any kind of balance, any kind of spinal strength is pretty amazing. So give yourself that opportunity to see what it feels like with both, and then you can choose to back off or to move forward. Again, you don't have to lift up really high, just try to make your arm and legs straight. 5 big breaths inside of the pose. And then once you've finished 5, just switch to the other side. And again, like those sound effects sometimes really help. Letting out a ha or a or a letting your lips sometimes feels great, you guys. Use your belly, push the mat away, and breathe a lot. Once you release that, come back into a child's pose. There's a couple of different ways to do child's pose. Start with your knees separated so that your belly can relax right in between your knees. And you can separate them as wide as you want to. You can let one ear come to the mat, or maybe just your forehead. Stretch your arms out in front of you, but let your elbows bend so everything can just relax. Trying to get heavy on the floor, and if you want to sway side to side, you can. If you like that way, keep that way. If you want to try a different way, bring your knees all arms by your sides, and then let your forehead rest on the mat. It's a little bit different kind of stretch. Big breaths inside the pose, just trying to open up your lower back. And then stretch your arms out long in front of you if you haven't already. Really stretch them long. And then come forward into a plank pose. Your knees can stay on the mat for a plank pose. Just make sure your shoulders are on top of your wrists. If you want to straighten your legs, tuck your toes and use your legs. So pull your heels back, lift up on your knees and thighs, and draw your belly in. That way your hips stay all the way up in the same line as the shoulders. Now focus your eyes. Try to make your neck longer. Try to make your waist longer, using the whole body to help you. Take big breaths, because if you start to get into your mind about something, your mind isn't going to help you hold the pose, but your breath absolutely will. So take giant breaths to maintain the shape for as long as you can. And if you want your knees on the floor, you can absolutely do it with your knees. But try to keep space in your wrists, space in your elbows. Press all of your fingers down into the floor so that your wrists don't get fatigued. Now from here, bring your knees to the mat and roll over to your right side. So one knee stays down, the other foot is flat on the floor, and lift your top arm up. Now you see how my shoulder is kind of leaning back behind my hand? Bring your hand a little bit closer to you. That way you stack your shoulder right on top of your wrist. And just see if you can lengthen your arms away from each other. If you want to try stretching your arm forward or lifting your leg up, you're welcome to do those things. They're pretty wobbly for me, so I'm going to stay right here. You get to choose. Again, big breath inside of the pose. Try to stay out of your mind, get into your body as much as you can. And then bring both hands down. Good. Tuck your toes and sit your hips back. For me, it feels best if I keep my toes tucked. Some people would rather just press the tops of their feet into the floor and rest your hands on your thighs. Just kind of relax your head, relax your shoulders, and take a few deep breaths. And cross your legs underneath you. And bring your legs out in front of you, using your hands to hold your weight. And once your legs come in front of you, scoot yourself towards the front of your mat. And if you're not on a mat, that's okay. Bend your knees, make sure your feet are flat on the floor. You can hold your legs to help you roll down, or you can stretch your arms out in front of you. Either way, round your back. So it's like you got punched in the stomach. And try to go really slowly. So see if you can feel one vertebrae at a time, lowering yourself to the floor, and see if you can be really specific about it. That way your abdominals are working to help you. And once you get all the way down to the floor, bring your legs out long and just kind of shake them out. Now bring your right knee into your chest, interlace the fingers around the right shin, and pull your right knee in towards your armpit. You can keep breathing here. It's really an awesome stretch and an awesome compression for the stuff that's going on in your belly. But then cross your right leg over to the left side of the room. And it might go really far, it might not go very far at all. Stretch your right arm out to the right. Look over to the right and let your knee fall to the left. So your two shoulders stay anchored on the floor to anchor the twist. And you let your hip fall so you can get a big stretch across your back. Take big breaths inside of the pose, and once you've finished 5, just switch to the other side. So your left leg comes up and in, you pull the knee towards the armpit, and you try to use both of your arms to do it. And then switch to the other side, so cross the left leg over to the right. Stretch your left arm out to the left, look to the left, and let your knee fall to the right. Big breaths inside. And remember, guys, try not to take yourself too seriously, See if you could just have a good time with it, getting to know your body, feeling good about yourself.